Hey everybody, we're live. I guess.
Did you listen to
Welcome
that
to
song,
mintCast.
Josh?
I did. Mission accomplished. It's stuck.
What'd you think?
It kind of reminded me of an updated version of like old school Red Hot Chili Peppers with that kind of funky little groove. But yeah, it's definitely hooky and odd.
Yeah, it's a little bit WTF.
Yeah.
And here's the weird thing that you didn't think about when you were watching it. It's actually about an STD.
Let's lighten things up
And
and
now
talk
that
about
I've
STDs.
And now
Why
that I've
not?
said it, you're like, oh my god, yes it is. I didn't think of that.
Oh no, no. Yeah, that's not what I had in mind.
Not even a little bit.
But now that
Not
you've thought
even a
about
bit.
it,
Yeah, there's no way to ever hear it the pure and way again, and pure and innocent.
well, the song definitely was not pure and innocent. Even, thinking about
Right.
it any other way, definitely not pure and
No.
innocent.
No, it was not. Yeah.
The hell was that? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, well, I guess there's always that AC/DC song, The Jack, which is also about such matters. So, there's precedent.
Hey, you got to talk about the thing you know about,
You'd bet. In that case, I'm really not qualified on
I'm not
any of
either.
these subjects.
Not even a little bit.
Nope.
I did this. I
Alright.
worked roofing like a few years ago. I took like a summer off of driving, and I got a job at a friend's roofing company. And you get up there with these guys, and they're all talking about all the STDs they've had, and then they look at you. What about you, Bill? Nothing. Never. Oh, come on. Not even one. It's like, oh, wow. I'm not where I should be.
These are not my people.
These are not my people.
Right.
There's a joke about Linux using Linux hidden in there somewhere. The fact that you can't get malware as easily on Linux as in Windows.
Oh, gosh. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Oh boy.
My brain just didn't go there.
A technological prophylactic. Linux.
Basically, it's, wait, how come you haven't had an STD bill? Well, I use protection, by the way.
All right.
Do you have a minute to
Too
talk
far?
about Linux?
Yeah.
I use
Wait,
Arch.
maybe it's not the best topic for since we're live already.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean,
Moving
we did cover war crimes a few months ago, so it's whatever anything goes on the Saturday stream.
You never know.
I mean,
Moving on's gonna come
we did
up
cover
here.
war crimes a few months ago, so
It's never a war crime the first time.
That's true.
Out. Chat.
Yeah.
There we go. That was a heck of a lot of faffing.
A lot of what? I heard a different word there.
Uh-oh.
Faffing around, as the English say.
They also say something else that sounds very similar.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's in polite conversation. They throw some words around that would get you smacked over here. Alrighty.
Yes.
All right, so looks like everything's good. All right, so what do we got for a topic? The grub thing.
Yeah, but you know, I know last time a lot of people were saying that they weren't sure about that topic because they didn't know about it. But I'm gonna have to look up.
I'm absolutely down for the grab topic.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up everything anyway. So and write it out. So pick a topic, research it, and then toss it out there.
I think grub should be pretty easy because once you hit grub rescue, I think there's like 3 commands.
Yeah.
You're pretty hosed.
Well, I got to thinking about it. I actually even ran into a use case during the week. I had replaced GNOME with XFCE, and I was playing around with ways of getting the video tearing to stop without going with a full-on compositing manager. And I ended up changing some stuff in the XOR.
I think there's some checkbox somewhere that's specifically for XFCE settings. I think there's a checkbox specifically for removing screen tearing if it's there. I'm not sure.
There used to be. They was playing around a couple years ago with a VSync feature, and then it just quietly went away. I never got it to work.
I think it went away on 4.16.
They mentioned to just use like Compton. Well, on Arch, Compton's been deprecated in favor of something called PyCom.
PyCom is what I tried.
And so, which is fine, but I had everything on, including the OpenGL support, and it was still tearing. Well, I got to reading. There is something you can put in the XOR config for the Intel graphics system.
Oh yeah, the conf T or whatever.
Yeah, you can put a no tearing option. Well, I did that, and it put it into an unbootable state. So I had to go in and because it's using the mode setting driver, because you've got you have to choose on Arch whether you're going to use the mode setting driver through Mesa or install the XF86 video Intel. And they actually, in the Arch wiki, they recommend you don't do that. Just go with the mode setting. Well, I put that setting in the XOR conf, and then it just wouldn't boot. So I had to go into the grub rescue. Well, what I ended up doing was just passing the kernel parameter init equals bin bash, and then it just booted into a command prompt. And then I just deleted that file, and then it booted fine. But that's something you got to know to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've used that fix a ton of times. I've never had it do that, but admittedly, it wasn't on Arch. So
I think it was because I did not actually have the video Intel XF86 driver installed. All I had was the mode setting.
Right.
Which I think what it was doing was it was looking for that driver, and it just got hung up on that. Yeah. But that's where I just deleted that and then rebooted, and I just kind of gave up on the idea. Maybe I was seeing things. What I really want, and I used to be able to do it with the XComp MGR. You could script it into, like, if you just wanted VSync to run when you're running VLC or something like that, you could script that XComp manager into like a wrapper script to start up VLC. And then when you close VLC, it shuts the compositing off. That way you don't have it when you don't need it. Or if you're opening your terminal, if you want a transparent terminal, you can add that command to turn on compositing while the terminal's running so that you can see through it, and then it shuts off when you're done with it. And I couldn't work out how to get that, to get that to work in a way that wasn't, real hacky and clumsy, I don't know, XFCE, you got to...
Kludgy. Kludgy is the word.
Kludgy, yeah. XFCE is one of those things you just kind of take it the way it is, I guess.
Oh, it's weird. I thought they made that... I thought the reason they got rid of the checkbox option was because they had set it up as basically default in 4.16.
Well, see, because if you run the Mint version of XFCE, they've got compies installed on that.
Huh.
Which, let me see here. I think I've got it.
That's deprecated.
Well, actually, it's not. I looked it up on
Really?
the Arch Wiki, and it's actually pretty aggressively maintained. Because it's still I was surprised too. I thought it was deprecated. That's been all the talk for a long time.
Yeah. They were like 0.9 or something. I know this used to be a discussion over on the Mate forums for Ubuntu Mate. And they said they weren't using compiz anymore because it had been deprecated.
I'm going to see, just to make sure I'm not telling a lie here. I got Mint XFCE in a KVM. I'm going to make sure I'm not.
Okay. Are you showing what I'm sharing?
Oh. What you got?
I was just going to do a quick explanation of what I'm doing here. I got this set of LGs that I had replaced the cable on to make it MMCX. And the cable gets dry and brittle over time and breaks.
Snapola.
Yep. So what I'm doing is basically I have all this extra cable. I'm just going to shorten this up to where it's broken and run it through into here again, which can be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. That doesn't look like a ton of fun.
Well, it's just small work. That's all.
Hope nobody can hear my server chugging away.
No, I can't hear it right now.
Doing a ZFS send receive. Because that's what you do when you're streaming a show. You decide that's when you're going to do your backup.
Yeah, good time for it.
Who knew 8 terabytes would take a couple hours?
Everybody.
Oh, damn.
Like literally everybody on the planet.
8 terabytes. Whew. I don't have that much storage combined.
I got 3 12 terabyte Iron Wolf NAS drives in there running a ZFS mirror.
Oh. Got the heavy artillery out today, Bill.
So this is weird because they've got, I'm looking at it over here on the XFCE. Mint has compies installed. So you open up the compies settings manager and they've got the OpenGL enabled, the Mate compatibility enabled. And then you go to the XFCE settings and he's got compositing enabled on that as well. I didn't know you could have 2 of them running at the same time.
Yeah, if you want to, I'm not sure if you want to use a different compositor for XFCE, you have to disable the default compositor.
Yeah, XFWM4.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but he's got both of them running somehow. I got to look into this.
Strange.
Yeah, let me see here. Let me look in the task manager. Oh, that's different. XFWM4 is running. Maybe there's a way to just run certain components of Compies along next to... I don't see Compies anywhere in the...
Well, somehow they're running it on like a per application basis or something.
Now that would be interesting too.
Yeah.
And in fact, that would be the way I would do it, because I don't really need vsync running all the time. I got to look into this some more, because yeah, they've got both of them running concurrently, but I don't see anything Compies on the task manager. Let me look on the terminal here. Grep Compies. Nothing.
I remember that used to be all the rage. I think that's what gave you, all the desktop cube and
It's
all
still
those
on there. Yeah.
effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting,
Wobbly windows.
Yeah.
Fedora still has a Mate Compies spin, so they just still use Compies.
Yeah, I thought it was deprecated too, but apparently it's still large and in charge.
Oh, wow.
And with PyCom has various forks, maybe like half a dozen forks that all just are named PyCom. So when you want to get PyCom from various GitHub repos, you basically have different packages with the same name. It's a bit confusing. When people tell you, okay, get PyCom from this maintainer or that maintainer.
Beauty of open source.
I never realized Compton got forked, because I'd been using Plasma and GNOME for so long. You just don't need to worry about that.
GNOME compositor is excellent. It's probably
it works
the strongest point of GNOME. Even Budgie uses it. Also, I'm XFC on NVIDIA. I just use the forced composition pipeline, and on the default XFWM. I really don't have any problems with it, so maybe I'm just not noticing something, but it works for me.
Yeah, GNOME's implementation with Mutter is really good. As a matter of fact, I think Cinnamon's getting ready to update to a newer version.
Maybe we'll be getting Cinnamon on Wayland in the far future.
I don't know if he's interested
really
in that.
interested
Yeah,
in
he ain't real. I don't know. Once all of this stuff's ironed out, maybe he'll give it its due.
But is it pretty much a consensus that people are saying that Wayland is going to take over sooner or later, probably later, but it's eventually going to be the default?
That's probably when he'll switch us over.
They've been saying that for like more than a decade now, so...
Yeah, in the past 2 years, it somehow accelerated, so Fedora is planning to switch to Wayland by default. I think Ubuntu is. They haven't done it so far. They did said they're going to, but maybe next year.
And then watch how many people fork X after that and keep that going.
But you don't have to fork because it's still maintained, or at least
For the moment.
Yeah.
I wish I understood better why we really needed another display server.
Yeah, it's because of how basically old X is and how much cruft it's built up over the years, technical debt, and security flaws and everything else. It's got so much utility built into it for the same reasons.
Right. Yeah.
And it's more prone to screen tearing than Wayland. I think it's more than 40 years old at this point. I think
it's pretty darn old.
It works. It works, but it's. I don't know, it works fine for me.
Norbert was trying not to say that everything over 40 is useless.
But for example, my first window manager was Sway, and it just works because it's a window manager and a compositor because it's on Wayland. And when I wanted to try i3, I realized, wait, this doesn't have composition by default, so I will have to get PyCom. And that doesn't matter how I tried to configure PyCom. On Intel graphics, I was getting awful artifacts when I was resizing and moving and opening windows. So I just decided to go back to SPA. Because it just, I mean, window manager is not very complicated, but it just worked better for it. And even on GNOME, Wayland seems to work better at this point. What we really need is for Basma to catch up with Wayland.
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point it'll be ready, like we've been saying for the last decade.
Well, when you make it default on the big distributions, then you kind of force everybody.
That's been done.
Yeah, and you kind of force
and
everybody.
They reverted.
Have they reverted 2204 though?
I don't think so. I think Ubuntu's going full steam ahead this time.
I think Fedora is too. So as soon as you see it on Red Hat, you'll know.
Disagree. It's been on Red Hat before.
What's interesting is that I think Canonical said that Wayland was to be the default session even on Ubuntu 21.10 or Impish, but it didn't happen. So I was a bit confused. So is it going to be the default on the RTS?
I suppose you could get a hold of the beta right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I tried to install it yesterday and it failed.
Really?
Last I heard, they were still going ahead with everything, but I admittedly haven't been keeping up with Ubuntu news.
I don't know, man. Ubuntu, it's just not been interesting lately, I guess. With all of the...
Oh, no. And there has been plenty of people pointing that out lately. They are not happy with the direction it's going, at least on the desktop. Server spaces and IoT and all that. Different.
And as well as research and like machine learning and physics and informatics. For example, one of my friends who's working for a company doing... they are the ones doing the microbiome to gut flora analysis. And he wanted to install a package specifically. It's a very niche tool that's specific, even as far as biology goes. It is a niche tool that is for analyzing the gut flora, and turns out it was in the Ubuntu and Debian repositories. So I think the reason why they have so many packages, like 30,000 plus, is not because they don't even have stuff like Discord. So the reason why there's so many packages in Debian and Ubuntu is because they have a lot of very obscure scientific research programs maintained, which I think says a lot about what the general target audience for Ubuntu is right now. And because Ubuntu is downstream from Debian, that makes it kind of Debian's target audience as well. Because you see Ubuntu and Debian a lot in and even if you look at the Ubuntu Twitter, they repost a lot of articles about like Ubuntu and Linux being used in like physics and various scientific fields.
One concern.
Football game going on.
They just decided to not care about the desktop as much, but they still care enough to enforce snaps on the desktop as well.
Yeah, there is.
Norbert, is there a football game
song
going on behind you?
No, it's a house party.
House party.
I wasn't invited. Was you, Joe?
I was not.
This is.
Where is my invitation?
For real, dog.
It's lost in the mail. That's what it is. An international shipping thing.
Yeah, that was one when we started hearing things like Mate adding Flatpak support out of the box, and then them redoing the Snap infrastructure and all that. I had this concern that they were gonna lean on these universal formats more than they were going to concern themselves
Develop
with
shit
keeping,
on their own.
Yeah, keep the dev
I think
repos up to date.
At this point, I am not that concerned about Flatpaks and stuff, because for desktop applications like LibreOffice and OnlyOffice and Discord, I basically just all use almost exclusively Flatpaks. But for like like I said, there's various analytical tools and scientific stuff that I don't think it would work well. But if they revamped the Snap ecosystem and it was better and it didn't take, I mean, I know that snaps are compressed, so they have to decompress when you start them. That's why they take long. But does it have to be compressed? Can they just like be an uncompressed image file? They just mount and we can start it.
It seems
Which is
obvious.
fine for larger systems.
Yeah.
Wasn't that how flat packs work, basically, right? They're not compressed, are they?
No, they're not compressed. So it's not an issue because it takes a lot on the first start, but in the second, third start, and so on, it doesn't take longer because it's already decompressed. But where does it put? Is it all loaded in RAM when it's decompressed? I have no idea how snaps work.
Well, the runtimes are all in the var directory, right? And then like regular packages, they'll load to the RAM, but they've also got that secondary runtime in the RAM. And apparently it doesn't take up a heck of a lot more space because it's using the same kernel as the host system. But yeah, it is another runtime in the RAM. But what are you going to do about that? Because for some software nowadays, the only way to keep it up to date is to write it against a specific runtime.
Yes, but even not just a runtime, but for example, if I have, for example, Chromium or Firefox as a snap, and I start it, and it mounts it, it decompresses it, and now if I close it and I start it again, it won't take as long because it's already decompressed. But if the entire Firefox snap is decompressed, where are the decompressed files stored? Are they just kept in RAM? Because the entire browser has to be kept in RAM, even if I close it, for it to be open back up. Or is it decompressing it somewhere on disk?
Maybe
to some temporary directory?
Temporary directory somewhere.
That would make the most sense. Unless, for example, if on servers you have a lot of RAM, then maybe that would also make sense. To just keep everything in RAM.
And again, that's fine for people with high performance systems. But I can see somebody
trying to...
trying to...
stays in RAM, though. Because, I mean, when you close things down in Ubuntu and you keep an eye on your RAM, I mean, it doesn't just stay static. It still lowers the RAM footprint when you close the application.
I mean, there's still a difference between used RAM, so free RAM and freeable RAM. But if right now I typed free-h, it says I have 1.9 gigabytes of used RAM, but I also have 1.6 in used for cache.
Cache, yeah.
So I think that's where that's what it shows up as. But if you start the browser the second time, there's some stuff left in cache, maybe.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Is that screw stripped?
Now, if you take a look, I don't know if you can see, it's probably not stripped. It's just really rusted, so I can't get a grip on the head. Can you hear me talking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Somebody just got back off.
Right? I heard something.
Yeah. Nishant, you're a bit of a wild card.
Is Nishant here? He's here, but he's not.
He's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit. He's muted.
Yeah. I need to get me one of those anti-static mats. Keeps your screws from rolling off the table.
Oh yeah, it's great for that. I got all the screws for my XPS that I keep taking apart right there. I should switch out that battery one more time and then put it together. Yeah, it looks to be a little stripped. Not a big deal. Check and green.
Nothing a little Teflon tape won't fix.
See those little thin screwdrivers? My dad has some of those. I recognize them everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Very handy to have around.
I have.
I've got this.
Lots and lots of different types of tiny screwdrivers.
I've got one of these sets. It's got all the bits.
Oh yeah, I got a few of those, but the only bit set that I keep handy, like in my workstation right now, is this one. And then I have the bits in a bin.
I have one like this.
Oh yeah.
Something just fell out.
I do have a small iFixit toolkit.
I've got one of those iFixit kits too. I wear this
Is that
stuff
the
out
pine
though.
sol, Joe?
Hmm?
Is that the pine sol?
This? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the pine seal.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Nice.
Love the pine seal.
That thing was only, how much was that? $20?
25 plus shipping. Their shipping is a bit rough, but I also ordered the the power supply that they sell, or not the like power supply, but the charging station that they sell with the high-powered USB-C and the QC 3.0 USB-A,
Yeah.
and then the 3 other ones that do well, not fast charging, but they have a pretty high output. Like the light that I'm using right here, that's being powered by that, and then my soldering iron's being powered by that, and then what I'm charging, I think a headset. Where did it go? I know it's hooked up. I can see. Oh no, it's not hooked up to anything. But it'll tell me the amperage output and everything, and the voltage output. Like right now, to the soldering iron, it's getting 20 volts, and it says 0 amps, but that's because it's already hot.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of the trick with pine. Just order everything all at once. That really saves your bacon on the shipping.
Yeah, I also ordered tips at the same time, and I honestly wish I would have ordered more tips, because they're the same as another little portable soldering iron that's $100 or $100 and something, the TS100. It's the same tips, except look up how much those cost. They're like $15 each just for a tip on Amazon.
Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, by the way, I saw your package was delayed, Joe. Looks like it's coming
Okay.
Monday now.
I'm not stressing it.
Yeah, all right.
Everything's
It will
up and
get there.
running right this second. I mean, it's nice to have 32 gigs of RAM, that I can increase the RAM usage for my VM again, and open up more windows in Chrome, or more tabs in Chrome, and things like that. But yeah, I can live without it for a little while if I need to.
Well,
It just
hopefully it
sucks
gets
that
there.
it keeps happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just heard about that whole laptop turntable issue on the latest episode. I wasn't aware of that. I was like, oh great.
Oh,
Glad
you didn't
I
know
just
about
sent
that?
something via. No,
I'm still
I
waiting.
just sent.
I call
Pardon?
them like every couple of days, and they tell me that they are not actually UPS. They're like a third party that deals with UPS, and they have to, when it comes to getting compensated for things like this, they have to work it through UPS. And I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, but it wasn't UPS's fault. It was your fault. You put the wrong label on this stuff. But
Oh, wow. So this wasn't directly with UPS.
well, it's a UPS store, right? It's got the place has got
Oh,
UPS's
okay,
insignia on the door and all that, and you don't get a marvelous idea that they're not actually UPS. It's like some of these cell phone stores that are marked Verizon and AT&T, but they're actually
Right.
third-party business.
Licensed vendors.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I was starting to feel a little better, and then all of a sudden my dreams were crushed because I used a UPS store.
I've used them before and I never had a problem, but this particular time they were kind of busy and they were just taking boxes back. He would print the label, hand the box to the guy with the label just laid on top, and he would take it back to a table. Well, yeah, duh. Labels
Yeah.
get mixed up and things go out, and
I get a turntable.
and he gets a
And
turntable.
you get a turntable.
Wish I'd have got that turntable. I wouldn't mind having that.
That's a nice turntable.
It looks
But
like we
I
got a
don't think I'd
swap.
want to ship it.
No, don't ship it, because, well, yeah, maybe ship it. I'll get my laptop back.
Right?
Magically.
And Bill ends up with a Lenovo Carbon X1 somehow.
Oh, gee whiz.
I'd have you send me that.
Now, this was a 17-inch Toshiba with a i7, big old thing.
You end up with an Alienware. What's that? The mothership.
Oh my, yeah. I'm sure
It was
that'd make
way
you cry
overpriced.
like that.
And then you
Yeah.
say nothing to UPS.
Nothing.
They call
I
you
got
and
it.
you're like, huh? I never heard of you guys. Huh?
Everything
What?
went swimmingly well. Nothing. No problems.
Well, it looks like they're going to write me a check,
Well, that's cool.
which they need to. As soon as I find out, my supervisor's going to call you and get some information on the laptop. And I'm thinking, oh, I got some research to do.
Yeah. It was a mothership.
Yeah.
You were mailing me a mothership.
That's what it was. It's documented here on YouTube.
Yep.
I mean, I don't really have to gild the lily too much, because that was in its time.
17-inch laptops are still never cheap.
Yeah, I mean, and this one had the i7 and everything, expandable
no.
RAM.
No. You got to tell them it was an
that was
Acer Predator 21X.
Yeah, freaking
$9,000
Ryzen 9.
laptop.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yes, Acer Predator 21X. Look it up. It is a $9,000 laptop.
What does it have that's worth $9,000?
A 21-inch screen and the ability to put in full-size desktop graphics cards.
So it's got a full-size PCIe slot.
Actually, I think it might be dual. I think you might be able
In
to
a
run
laptop?
like SLI on there. In a laptop. Dude, the thing is insane.
I think
Look
at
it up.
that
Have
point
like
you might as well just get a regular tower and
It is definitely not what I would call portable.
then spend the
No,
other
you'd have to have,
7,000
like-
on something else.
Battery pack the size of a toilet hanging off the back of that thing.
But hey, that's what you were shipping me was the Acer Predator
gotcha.
21X.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Just so we're clear. Right.
And I would much, much prefer for them to replace it than to send you the money. Like, a lot. Because you can't really... I think there's one place in China selling them for like $10,000 right now.
Ah, Lord.
I just don't
But that
understand.
thing is... Woo,
So it's basically worth about a tank of gas here in the U.S. right now.
right now, yeah. Maybe 3/4 of a tank, depending on your vehicle.
Well, you
Right,
would-
I was talking to a buddy at work, and he went to fill up his pickup, and I said, "Well, how much you spend?" He said, "Well, the credit card cut me off on the machine at 125, and I was almost full." I went, oh my God!
That's insane.
Yeah,
Oh, at least it was $3.99, so I can say it was under $4 when I filled up.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go do it right now then. I don't think any
As a
place
matter of
around
fact-
here is under 4.
4.
I would-
Phew.
Well, you're in
government decided.
California, yeah.
Is it bad
Oh,
everywhere?
It's bad everywhere. Some
it's
states are
global.
much higher than others.
Yeah,
We
it's
have
usually
even-
pretty good in Texas.
Europe's the same. Our government decided to cap gas prices, which resulted in a bunch of gas stations closing temporarily, because they would have to sell it to us because they're not allowed to increase
the
the
price
prices.
above it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah,
I think
I
we're
went
getting
by our
a,
local Chevron. Oh, go ahead.
we're going to get a tax holiday, but I'm not sure how much that's going to amount to. Honestly,
Oh.
Probably not enough. I went by our local
Oh.
Chevron, and they had diesel at $6.78 yesterday.
No, they're talking about busting into our reserve to try and bring prices down, and they're talking about, making deals with Venezuela and a bunch of other places that we wouldn't make deals with before to help bring prices down, and
That's a
we
pipe
shall see.
Venezuela can't even
Lol.
produce enough oil for their own country. Their infrastructure's in ruin.
God, I'm good.
To be fair, we in the United States we've been getting spoiled with gas prices for a long time. When I was in Germany in the early 90s, I think, and we were rationed fuel over there. I think I remember it being like $4.50 a liter.
Yeah, no,
time.
I remember being in Korea in like 2000 and 99 2000 in that time frame. And it was like $4 a liter.
Yeah. So
US.
And you figure what, 3 liters to a gallon?
4. Closer to 4.
Closer to 4?
3.6.
Okay, yeah.
But they have awesome public mass transit over there, and everything's close together, unlike here in the States where we're all spread out and we have virtually no other way to travel.
Yeah, and that's not going to go away either.
No. And then, you take into account that everything arrives via, cargo container ship, and then onto rail, and then onto trucks, which is all powered by diesel. So, yeah, that's not going to help either.
Yeah, it's really going to push inflation hard. And the thing about, like, I don't know if anybody else has seen this in like the last 20 years or so, but when inflation gets pushed hard because of some event that comes up, it seems like the vendors, the people that are selling things, they push the prices up because they have to. But then they realize that the market can bear it because people still keep buying it. So when said whatever it was disaster that pushed prices up is no longer an issue, prices don't come all the way back. They just freaking stay higher.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's maybe the same with the computer parts, I assume. It's just kind of
everything
disappointing.
I've thought about that with the video cards and that, the way
ignore the shouting in the background.
I thought to myself, those video cards, if people are willing to pay that kind of money right
behind
now,
the curtain.
You're totally right on that, Bill. That they've totally reset the market, and it's kind of the same thing you see with cell phones. You remember when a high-end cell phone was, $400 or $500?
Yeah.
And now we see them up around, $2,000.
Yeah. They've
segmented the market.
Their excuse for that back then was that there were large subsidies provided by the cellular companies that reduced the prices of cell phones.
Yeah.
That's the excuse anyway.
An excuse just
and those subsidies no longer exist.
Yeah, was it $1,500 worth of subsidy?
I guess it was.
Jeez.
Did they have 12 gigs of RAM?
No, but did you need it?
That's what I got
Probably
now
not.
on this Note 10 Plus. When I got this thing, I thought, I can't see why does it even need to be. Well, I think with these, it's all about that deck stuff that it's got built into it.
Well, no, I would agree with you if they had kept the Linux on deck thing, but I mean, seriously,
it only works on Windows.
Deck? Yeah. It only works on Windows, and it's basically a screen sharing app. Or KDE Connect. It's like they ported KDE Connect over to Windows.
You do get a desktop, and if you had a real fantastic reason, like there's software that you can only get on your phone that's not connected to any cloud service. I'm not sure how realistic it all is, but you do get a desktop, and it looks kind of plasma-ish, but it is still, the point behind it is still kind of shaky.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, there are some mobile games that, are pretty resource intensive, but you're really going to have to be multitasking in order to get anywhere close to 12 gigs of RAM.
I tried it.
Android just keeps everything in RAM. It only purges if it has to, so it's almost at use up to, it's almost all use all the time. So I'm still fine with my 4 gigs of RAM in my phone. Sometimes I feel as like it's not enough, for example, when you have multiple tabs in the browser. But you really have to have a lot of tabs. So I don't
Easy
even know
fix,
what.
Norbert. Use DuckDuckGo browser. They don't have tabs, so there
Yeah.
you
Wait,
go.
it does.
Yeah, it
I
does.
use it. It
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo
does.
browser.
Yeah, it does have tabs.
You
All right, I'm
not
looking.
until you open them. But
Oh yeah, it does have tabs.
yeah,
Huh? Yeah,
I think it's based on Chromium, isn't it?
yeah. I remember some of these browsers didn't have tabs anyway.
Aren't they working on something for desktop? I mean,
They were supposed to, yeah.
and it's
Yeah, it
supposed
was
to have
kind of
some
all over the
pretty,
place.
pretty.
They said that on each platform it's not going to use the same engine. It's going to use the native engine of each platform. So, for example, on Mac it would use Safari's engine. On Android, it's still on Android. On Windows, I assume it will be using Chromium because that's what uh, Edge does. But why would that be a better approach than just using Chromium everywhere?
Good
I don't
question.
know. They're in hot water right now anyway because of that censorship deal where they're gonna start doing the whole thing that Google does with we're going to start purging out Russian misinformation and all that, and the freedom crowd piped up right away and said we don't want that in DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, that's my first reaction. That it's supposed to be super neutral, right? That's one of the
Yeah.
selling points of DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, and then you use your own mind and figure out what you deem to be or misinformation or not. You know, it was kind of up to the user. Now they're going to curate it.
It's very fashionable
hopefully-
to do the cancel culture with Russia thing right now.
Oh yeah, it is.
And the only thing that's doing is hurting the people, the average people. I mean, I'm not saying just let him do what he wants to do, but I think,
Well, the only way to get rid of him is to convince the average people to get rid of him.
but if he's got a context over there where he's controlling the narrative, and if he can convince enough of their people that this is, it's us against the rest of the world, and it's the rest of the world is wrong for doing this. I don't know. I don't know. I've never been there, and I don't know what people really think over there about what's going on. If they think that this is all his fault, or if they think that the rest of the world is just picking on them.
I think that a couple of people have actually tried to express their opinions on it, Bill, and if it's not in line with the the party wants, you're seeing what happens, and that's congratulations, you just earned a trip to the gulag.
I've read some news about today that I'm not sure about this. So that allegedly Putin had someone responsible, some people who told him that the invasion would be doable, but then maybe it was just the fact that they didn't want to say no to him. It's interesting. I don't really follow politics, international politics at all, but it seems like or at least he overestimated what they could achieve.
He way
Right now-
overestimated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He
So
underestimated Ukraine.
Just
Yeah.
spoke to someone today who works in a supermarket or convenience store. I'm not sure what this. It is a supermarket chain. They said they had to take up Russian vodka from the shelves, which is
Oh, well.
becoming common.
Yeah. Yeah, they did that weeks ago. A lot of places over here.
They did?
Well, in Indiana, they did. Some of the
Wow.
in Indiana, we are ruled by the beverage distributors up here, and it's interesting because beer and alcohol sales on Sunday have been illegal since the 1800s, and every politician in Indianapolis had been trying to get that changed, but the beverage distributors were convinced that what that would end up doing is hurting their industry because it means their profits would be spread out over 7 days instead of 6. This was their logic. And then
Why is that bad?
because they were thinking that it was going to be the exact same amount of money, except they would have to pay to keep their store open 7 days. You know what I mean?
Well,
They'd be paying people.
Also, You get people that overbuy on Saturday knowing that they're not going to be able to buy
Yeah.
on Sunday. Granted, that's generally your hardcore alcoholics, but yeah.
It was a lot
They
of
know
just,
that they won't be able to buy on Sunday, so they buy more.
it was pseudo logic, really. And then all of a sudden, it was interesting. This happened a couple of years ago now. All of a sudden, one day in the news, the beverage distributors announced that they were no longer going to fight liquor stores being open on Sunday. And then, like, the very next day, the state house passes the law to allow it open on Sundays. And then, as if it was like that all these years, now they're open. So who really controls this world? You know what I'm saying? That
Right. The
like
people with the most money.
yeah,
Special interest groups.
they said this was their language. We will not fight liquor stores being open as long as we still don't sell cold beer in gas stations, like a lot of states do. We have some
No cold beer?
No, you got to go. It's
Oh,
all
that's
about the
a
liquor
sin.
store, and now you can get beer in some gas stations, but it's not going to be cold, and you can't get it cold from grocery stores either.
Wow.
Is a different
That's
regulation
unbelievable.
for cold beer and not cold beer?
They-
Or what? wait.
I know how ridiculous this all sounds, but the liquor stores will charge you 60 cents more for a case of cold beer than they do a case of warm beer. So they sell a lot more of the warm beer, obviously, the cheaper brands than they do the cold. But yeah, it's illegal to sell cold beer in the grocery stores and the gas stations.
I guess if you're hard up enough, you'll pound a warmie if you have to. Lord knows there's been a couple of those Fridays in my past.
Oh man.
Was
Well, in Germany,
Was there-
they kind of just drank it at room temperature anyway. So I kind of got
Was there
used to that. I'm sorry.
what's the reasoning behind that being able to sell cold beer?
I think they think that they'll sell more of it if it's cold. And they can't control. See, their prices at the liquor stores are all set by the beverage distributors too. They control 100% of that supply chain from start to finish. They tell the liquor stores what they're going to stock and how much of it and what the price is going to be. The distributor, when they deliver the product, they come in and put up all the price signs and everything. And then if all of a sudden it disappears one day, then it's because the beverage distributor did that. And then the grocery stores, though, have laws that dictate how they can control prices because it's a grocery store. So there's some conflict of interest. Yeah, I didn't say it would make sense, but
Do the distributors own the liquor stores?
no, nope. They all
'Cause over here, I think most people just get their beer from the supermarket.
yeah, whoever's got it on sale, whoever's got the cheapest price. From the consumer's point of view, you really don't get a sense that any of that's going on if you're just buying it off the shelf. But if you go in and you get it cold, you're going to pay 60 cents more just because it's cold, and they think that it. I don't know. These are the same people that thought having liquor stores open on Sundays would reduce their profit margin too. So
It's interesting. It's almost like these semi-puritanical style laws.
it very
that
much
go
is.
back-
This is all holdover from the Puritan came to this country because they wanted to get away from the paganistic stuff going on in Europe, and some of you could draw a line from a lot of the laws we have over here straight to the Puritan days.
Right. And do they, in your neck of the woods, do they sell like the small beers, the 3.5% alcohol versus like, the standard 5 of like a Budweiser or
No,
something?
I've not seen that.
Okay, I know that's how it is in some of kind of the Bible Belt areas.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen that in like Kansas, maybe Nebraska. I think does a lot of that.
I think Oklahoma. Yeah, there's some places out there.
But then the microbrews are allowed to jack it up to whatever they want, So it's also
Wine levels.
hypocritical. Yeah.
Right.
What do we got here?
Joe, what are you doing?
Joe, what do you know?
Oh,
What are you not going to do about that?
we have a compound fracture of the headphone.
There isn't much that I can do about that. I mean,
A plastic body. Epoxy.
but yeah, something like that might hold for a short amount of time, but really, it's a Band-Aid. If I could like get a different band or something, it would be fine. So what I'm going to end up doing is harvesting the cable off of this, and maybe this lovely microphone, but it's not one of the retractable ones. Like, I'm thinking this is the ultralight.
How old is that?
I would have to look it up. It's not old. I mean, the ultralights are fairly new from Razer, and yeah, it is like super light. There's like no weight to it, but that also makes the plastic very thin and fragile. But yeah, I'm gonna just harvest parts off of here, maybe use the mic on another project, and then here in a minute I'm gonna take this cable and I'm gonna put it on a Razer Kraken that's has, I replaced the 3.5 millimeter jack on it twice, but I think that there's another short like in the switch on it, and yeah, there isn't a whole lot I can do other than just replace the whole cable.
Oh,
So
man.
I'm going to use the cable from this to do that.
Make sure it has its donor sticker on it first.
Yeah. Now, I did buy two, and they're around here somewhere. I bought two 4-pole connectors, because, this one might end up not being good or something, but I will test with my multimeter once I get both ends available and just pin it out and make sure that, each connection is good, and it'll also tell me where each one goes when I put it on the next one.
Oh, so sad to see it go. I have a
What's
fix
the
for
set?
that, Joe. It's just, a little Gorilla Tape. We're back in business.
Well, no. If I were to really fix this, I would want to get like a strip of tin and take it down and then run the strip of tin in one side to the other side and then glue that.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
But that's a lot more work and materials than this is probably worth. But the Razer Kraken, even though it's going to lose the remote that, can turn off the mic and everything and adjust the volume, and it'll have I think the same length cable, but that working again will be worth it for me.
Dude.
Plus, that set of headphones I bought, this one's from that. And then the other Razer Kraken is from a different set. And then the green Razer Kraken I was able to do a cable shortening on. And that's pretty easy. So the damage wasn't at the 3.5 millimeter jack. It was where the cable goes into the device. It had some kind of break like right there. So I just pulled it through, shortened it up, and reattached it one by one to the exact same spots, which made it like super easy. And that worked really well, and it's one of the green ones, and my son loves his green one, and he's rough on headsets, so it's always good to have one in reserve.
No, for sure.
Plus, I get all these nice screws and extra drivers. I gotta check and see what size these drivers are. They're either, 40, 45, or 50? I can't eyeball it and tell. But digging them out's always fun, because they are, I don't know if you can see it, they are really, really glued in there hard.
Yeah, you can see it kind of reflecting off that ring.
Yeah. There's a ring of plastic, and then there's glue all around the ring connecting to the plastic casing of the speaker. So yeah, fun to dig out.
Ball peen hammer.
Yeah, and you can't really use a lot of heat with it without damaging everything else. But since I'm doing a cable pull, I can just disconnect those. Is it well marked? No.
Of course not. Come on, Joe.
Do I have a
Think
marker?
they make it easy for you?
No, I don't. Can I do it with a pencil? Yes, I can. Just mark the non-ground side. If I can. Yeah.
This reminds me of like putting models together back in the day when I was a kid and still had somewhat steady hands.
I was horrible at putting models together, and it wasn't because I didn't have steady hands or anything. It's just because I always overestimated the amount of glue that I needed, so I made a giant freaking mess.
I think that's fair to say we all did that at some point.
And hopefully this is hot glue and not epoxy. That's sitting over top of the solder. It doesn't matter too much. I could cut. Okay. But that will make things fun if I do decide to use this driver. There we go. Now that's out of the way. And there are other useful things on here, like the wire that goes all the way across the top. It's it's only a 2 wire, but it could still be useful for rebuilding another headset that has a bad wire across. And then if I get another one of these, a lot of the plastic is still useful, like the hinge. So yeah, these are new enough that this is like the first set I'm seeing.
Have you guys heard of this new Dahlia OS?
No.
Is it the one that you can boot it with both Linux and the Fuchsia kernel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear
This
about that
looks
on one of the podcasts.
I think it's something that was built from scratch even in the desktop environment.
It's got kind of, well, it's got a little bit of Chrome OS look to it,
Yeah.
but that is sharp looking.
I am going to say that this is interesting. It has a potentiometer. Like a lot of them have the potentiometer that's in the cable itself. This one has a potentiometer built into this side of the headset, which is kind of awesome.
Nice.
The Pangolin desktop environment is what they're calling this.
Yeah, I haven't looked at any screenshots of it. I'll take a look.
Yeah, it's on OMG Ubuntu. I'll share the link here on the...
okay. Cool.
I'll put it in the public page.
All right. Got it.
This looks slick and modern.
It does.
And
That almost has
Flutter.
that menu is very cinnamon-esque to me.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of with the favorite, or no, I guess I don't the favorites. Those are the controls on the side, but still, it kind of has that look, but more transparency going on there or something.
This cinnamon menu is not my favorite, by the way.
No?
Well, if it had like a recent, like when you bring it up, it shows you your recent applications. Instead of like, you really don't have much you can do with this. You can put favorites over on the right, but you can't put a lot of them. Otherwise, the thing would be stretched all the way to the top of the screen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not bad looking, though.
Yeah. See if I can get an ISO for this. Oh, there's their website. All kinds of CSS going on here. Download. It's called. They're calling it Dahlia OS Linux 220222. I wonder what package manager they're using.
Oh, yeah, I just hit their homepage. Yep, you're right. They got some fancy animations going on there, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder if you could run it off of Ventoy, I'm sure.
I'm just going to put it on a KVM and try it. But I don't know what it's based on, so...
Does Google intend to replace the kernel with Fuchsia on Android long term?
Nobody knows. They're not saying. The only thing they're doing right now is they've got it on a couple of Nest devices, I think. But right now it feels like it's... I think Fuchsia is what they wish Android was from the beginning, but it's not. And I don't think they can get like the hardware vendors to sign off on it, because like Samsung, they want to put all their stupid crap on top of it like they do with Android. And I don't think Fuchsia lends itself very well to that paradigm.
Hey, Bill, if you scroll down on there, they've got you can try it out in your web browser.
No way.
It's not fully functional. You can't get the terminal or the file manager and a few other things it looks like. Well, maybe. Let's see. Nah, doesn't seem like the terminal or file manager work. So you can get a little bit of a look and feel of it. You can't get the full functionality, but yeah, it's kind of neat to have a preview.
I just want to see web app, man. Oh, it's web apps.
Yeah, you can't get that, huh? Nope, that's grayed out.
Microphone, that should be the white one.
Oh, cool. You can change the theme. System dark mode on. Yeah.
I can't get at any of this stuff that I want to see. I can't open a terminal, and I can't.
Right. It's pretty limited, but I guess if you're just looking for a very basic idea of what it looks like,
Yeah, like
this'll
if you're
probably-
just wanting to see how it looks.
Yeah.
This is
Ground should be
slick,
this
though.
copper one, and the other one. Which
So my next question is, ArchWiki Pangolin.
blue? No. Really? That's insane.
Diffusing a
So-
bomb.
I'm telling you.
Dude, it's why make the blue on a freaking ground?
They ran out of
To
black.
throw you off. Oh, there you go. Supply chain shortages.
Or they
Okay,
might be
it's not the blue
colorblind.
one. It's not the green one. Is the red one the ground? That would make more sense. If the red one was the ground, that would
Yeah, that makes
little
perfect
bit of
sense.
Ah, man, I wish I had pictures of my buddy's old Volkswagen Bug. Everything was just like, it was rainbow wires, but connected in here and there, spliced. Yeah, you'd blow your top, Joe.
It is the blue one. Blue one's ground. That's all right. So now this is left. So give me red. Red is right. This should be left, which means green. Come on.
So I
There
go
we
into
go.
the.
Everything works on this.
Victory.
Oh, you can get Pangolin on Arch, Debian, Fedora.
On Debian?
Okay, I said the blue was the
Yeah.
ground, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sudo
Blue was the
apt
batshit
install.
crazy ground.
You gotta curl it. Well, you gotta git clone into their GitHub to get it.
So not super straightforward. I mean, not the end of the world, but
And in fact, there's not yet anyway. There's nothing in the AUR, and they've got instructions here on how to install it on Arch, Debian, Ubuntu, Fedora. And so, I mean, it's just a matter of installing Git, FEH, and OpenBox. OpenBox? What the heck would you use OpenBox with this for?
no
And I'm
idea.
probably going to have to reshape the tension reliever.
Yeah.
Which will be mildly annoying. But not bad. Where did I put it, though? That's the question.
Okay.
Oh, that broken headset. I was expecting you to say, which one?
Which one?
Which one, Joe?
Which one,
Before,
Joe?
Do you know how
of
little
them.
it narrows it down?
Yeah. That one broken headset, you know.
The Razer Krakens. That doesn't narrow it down either.
It's just going to be a house full of Franken-Krakens pretty soon.
Oh, where did I put it? Yeah,
I
fix it if
think
I don't know where it is.
This is going to be in the AUR by Mañana.
I wonder how well it'll integrate into the OS, though.
I'm just wondering what OpenBox has to do with any of this, because that's...
Maybe they're using it as a window manager. I mean, if they built their desktop from, I assume it's is it Flutter based?
That's what it said. Well, it says let's see here. OMG Ubuntu says, where did I see that at? They made reference to it somewhere. The Zircon kernel.
Zircon.
Yeah, that's what they call the kernel on Fuchsia.
Wait, isn't Fuchsia a kernel?
Yeah,
I thought so.
yeah.
It's got to have versions,
That's what
right?
threw me off. Zircon? Oh. Okay.
Zircon, there's only one thing that comes to my mind when I say Zircon.
What's that?
The Zircon crystals they used in gas chambers in the Holocaust.
Oh my, your brain went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right though. Maybe we shouldn't be using this.
Just don't shower with your operating system. You're fine.
Okay, and it says here the system uses the custom Pangolin desktop environment for the default UI. This is driven by a homegrown window manager called Utopia. This is a whole lot out of nowhere. Pangolin bears more than a passing resemblance to Google's Chrome OS, and it might be deliberate. It's almost certainly deliberate. Okay, applications. Okay, here we go. Applications, indeed Pangolin itself, are built in Flutter.
Okay.
a strained Ubuntu connection should you need one. Other Linux software can be installed via containers, but it doesn't appear as though that's working yet.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's got to be pretty alpha right now.
I wonder what they're just calling it a build, Linux-based build.
Is it intended to be able to boot both Linux and Zircon or whatever it's called in the long term, or is it just temporary?
That's what I was looking for too. Actually, I was wondering if they had like separate Zircon and Linux downloads.
I think it's an all-in-one, and you can choose which one to boot. No.
It might be. I gotta look at this, but I just don't know how to build the virtual machine though. If it doesn't, it's just gonna have to be a I don't know. I don't even know if I should tell it it's a generic Linux distro, or should I tell it it's Chrome OS? Probably if it's got the Zircon kernel, right? While maintaining support.
Isn't that Chrome OS is using the Linux kernel?
It's not real clear. On their website, here it is. Our dual kernel approach allows users with newer hardware to take advantage of the Zircon kernel while maintaining support for older devices using the Linux kernel. That's interesting. So you've got to support two kernels, basically. Support a patch set for two kernels. So I don't know how I would build a virtual image for this.
Well, I guess I told Moss, but I didn't tell you guys. I did fix one of his headsets as well.
Oh, good. One of the ones going back to him?
Yeah, I got his box mostly put together, and I'm looking for where I put his teeth so I can cut them. I can't freaking find it.
Oh, wow. They got instructions here on how to do it in a virtual machine. Just call it Other Linux. 64-bit. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get that up and running today. Well, I say up and running. I will attempt to get that up and running today.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like I don't have enough stuff to do.
Just throw one more thing on the
list.
That's how Joe does it.
That's how Joe does it.
Yeah. I have a list like that too. I just never seem to get around to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes magic things just randomly start appearing on the list.
That's true. The old honeydews.
So, how we're going to handle this this topic of ours?
Grub?
Yeah, just...
Well, you should do Grub Rescue. I know Moss is going to do Grub Customizer.
Norbert could probably do some Refind.
I was going to say maybe bring up... If he's going to do Refind, maybe I would talk about System D boot, because that's a good option if all you've got is one operating system on there, because your System D comes with that. All you need is a couple other little tiny dependencies to get that up and running.
I've never tried that. Does that work pretty well?
It's brainless. You write a couple of real short, simple config files to the EFI system partition, and it's basically just an extension of the kernel stub itself. It just gives you the ability to pass kernel commands, and then beyond that, you don't have. I don't know if it will boot a compressed boot directory. I thought you had to have grub to do, like if you were using Btrfs and you had a Z standard compressed boot directory, then I thought grub was the only one that could do that. I could be wrong.
I know that Fedora by default creates a ext4 boot partition and then a Btrfs root partition.
Okay, so probably.
So maybe. Yeah, but I think I tried that with Refine, it didn't quite work. So
Yeah.
as far as I know, if your even if your boot is Btrfs, I think there's a section in the Arch wiki in the refined page about how to get it to work. You have to install some additional stuff for it to work with Btrfs. I never really got to work it properly when I tried, so I don't really use Btrfs, so I don't know.
I've got it on my laptops just to squeeze a little bit more. The compression does make a little bit of difference, but it's, you're sacrificing CPU cycles for disk space and writes. But I don't know systemd boot. I was thinking about looking that up and talking about it.
That'd be fun to get into that.
Yeah, because there are some distros out there. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I think there are a couple that are using that by default.
This is annoying.
What by default?
Systemd boot.
The compression? Oh, Pop OS does.
Pop OS? Okay.
I think Arch does as well, so if you boot the Arch Live ISO on a legacy system, it will use grub, but if you boot on a UEFI system, it will use systemd boot by default. And as well in the Arch install script, it will ask you if you want to use grub or systemd boot, but the default option is systemd boot.
I've never tried that installer, that simplified installer route.
I don't use it because it doesn't let me just skip a bootloader, and it mounts the EFI partition as /boot instead of /boot/EFI, and because I don't want any of the when I'm dual booting, I don't want any of the distros to later the EFI partition with something other than a bootloader. So I just use the Archway. I just do it the Archway.
Well, like.
So, Arch was 20 years old. Not 20. Yeah, 20 years old yesterday.
Oh, wow, really? Well, I've been using it for...
Happy birthday, Arch.
Yeah, I've been using it for 11 of those years.
By the way.
By the way.
Arch, by the way.
Happy birthday, Arch. BTW.
There's a new meme on Reddit that I'm not sure where it comes from, but someone came up with a Fedora alternative to I use Arch, by the way. I use Fedora, of course.
No. Well, I guess they'll all get their own pretty soon.
Written as OFC.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well,
there's 2 people watching us.
Well, I can't believe it's so low with all the excitement we're providing around here. Come on, guys. Good Lord. Missing the party over here. Actually, they are literally missing a party.
Yeah.
Norbert.
So are we, Norbert.
Right? Where's all the people at, Norbert?
Don't get no cake.
Don't let them in. Let's see all the crazy co-eds, throwing booze bottles around. Getting wild, right?
QEM.
Be young and full of energy again. Actually, I don't think I had any energy when I was young either.
I don't remember having any more than I have right now. But like I noticed Like I drove all the way back from Massachusetts on Wednesday in one
Oh,
trip, and
oh,
the next morning it just felt like I was dragged behind the truck all day. And
I
then
hear that.
Thursday and Friday I was back and forth to Pittsburgh and back.
Ah, beautiful downtown Pittsburgh.
I didn't go downtown. The place I go to is over on the east side of town to a steel mill over there. Switch
They
out
still
roll
have them?
box. It's not
Functional steel mills?
there. It's not technically in Pittsburgh. It's in Brackenridge,
Okay.
but it's close enough. It's right there on the Allegheny River,
Eh,
and it's 5.5
That's cool.
hours out there and 5.5 back.
Oh, yeah, that's a long one. A lot of driving. How many miles is that round trip?
It's right at the. I want to say a little over 300. Oh,
That's a good
round
run.
trip. Round trip. It's about 600.
600.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good run.
It's a
Yep.
good day. It's just you drive out there half the day, drive back the other half the day. That's how I listen to so many podcasts.
Yeah, same. The traffic a nightmare?
You really only go through like Akron, Ohio. There's a lot of construction going on, so depending on the time of the day, that can get a little bit irritating. But the highway around Pittsburgh goes so far out of town. It goes around the north side and then kind of comes down the east side, but you're so far from downtown that you don't really get any of that traffic. So
Yeah, that's good,
it's
at
not
least.
bad.
I found him.
Found what, Joe?
The Razor Krakens.
A pair of broken headphones?
Yes. Not that was difficult to find. Just this one particular pair was.
Woohoo!
I think I have a whole box.
I've had these Sonys for like 15 years.
I'm using some really cheap monoprice. But they are amazing.
Yeah, Monoprice actually makes some good ones.
Oh man, these are just like if you put some like pleather or sheepskin XL pads on here, these things will blow your mind with the amount of bass they put out.
Yeah.
I had to turn it down on my amp deck because it just was rattling my brain.
So what is this Monoprice? Just a gadget
The head
store?
Oh, they just make a little bit of all sorts of stuff,
Yeah,
and
I'm
they
on their
sell it
website.
at really,
They got a couple of good pairs of studio headphones. One of them's Bluetooth, and then the non-Bluetooth looks almost exactly the same. I can't remember which model it is. I actually had a listener send me a pair to try and fix, but one of the audio modules that works for the Bluetooth was damaged, and I don't have a replacement for it. But it still works wired, and it sounds good. So
Why couldn't I just mind my own business? Why'd I have to go to this website? Why couldn't I just
It's Christmas time for Bill.
think to myself, oh, that's cool, and then move on to the next subject? No, I had to, oh, what is
I
that?
had to check it out.
Are you booting up Dahlia?
No, I'm
Looks
doing
like I'm
all
gonna
this
have to
streaming and everything,
re-glue.
so I'm kind of
Oh.
afraid to. I didn't really want to push it too much. I could probably pull it off. Let's see here. Are you? I haven't even made the machine yet. Let's see.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
I've got the ISO though, don't I? No, I don't. I don't have the ISO. Hold on.
Is Dahlia completely open source?
Seems like it.
Is it connected in any way to Google? Is it
No,
just someone
it's
independently?
it's just independent. So let's see, download EFI. Oh, that's downloading with the quickness. 57 meg per second. It's a zip file. What the heck? I wonder what happens when I decompress it.
It gets a little bigger.
Well, I mean, am I going to get an ISO or am I going to get a... Of course, I could always use Etcher to make an ISO. Oh, it's a .img. Okay, that ought to work. Let's see what happens here.
What are you downloading?
That Dahlia OS. Let's see if Vert Manager can figure out what it is. I'm quite sure it won't. I guess I gotta find it first. DAH.
Ugh. Hot snot.
You know, just dug up there was a video I've seen it about Dahlia by TechHat, and the way it looks like, where there's the bottom panel, you have the assistant on the right, you have the search and app launcher on the left, and you have the app indicators in the middle. And it's exactly how I like to go do my panel. Because I think what Microsoft messed up is that when you, on Windows 11, you put the entire taskbar to the middle, it also moves the start button as well.
Yeah.
But if we just, I think if we just kept the start button and the search button on the left, and just had the running apps in the middle, people wouldn't complain that much about it. Because I like to have something in the middle of my panel, because that's where it's easiest to focus. People are used to focusing to the left side of the panel because that's where everything that's where it gets filled up from when you open stuff.
Yep. I'm gonna give it 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah. Specifically, like how Budgie lets you do that, lets you align something to the exact center of the panel. Because on XFC you can have two extended what are those called? Two extended separators to the left and the right side of something to move it to somewhere in the middle, but that just puts it in the middle of where the free space is from the left and the right. And if you start having more track on the right, it will just move it to the left. So it's not in a perfect middle of the screen. But Budgie does this better. I had to have 3 different panels on XFC and resize them so they touch each other, so it looks like one panel. But they have 3 panels on left and right in the middle.
And by the way, Bill, I put a link to these headphones in the public on Amazon right now. $26.99 you can get them.
I'm not sure if you're helping or not.
I'm absolutely not. But hold on, there is a caveat. You have to buy the Brainwave XL earpads because the stock ones are awful. And the ear pads cost almost as much as the headphones at $25.
Brainwave is not cheap.
No.
For ear pads.
So there's some disincentive. Yes, they are very expensive.
No, I don't know much about Chrome OS, but I clicked on the online demo, and this gives me kind of iOS vibes. When I click on the bottom right to the settings panel on Dahlia.
Well, it won't even boot for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, looks like some reshaping is going to need to happen there.
Ooh, yeah. That's a little bit different. Does it have that same slant? I can't tell from...
No, this is very squared off.
Oh, I see now, yeah.
And it's also significantly smaller.
Yeah, that's very different.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, it's not going in there.
It'd take a little filing, maybe.
Some creative work with a cutting tool.
No, that'll work. Probably faster than filing it, yeah.
How do I shut it down from this prompt right here? Because it's got my...
What are you trying to shut down?
Well, I'm in the... I'm in the grub rescue, it looks like, or the shell. And it's got my mouse captured. Control L. Oh, okay. Control.
Oh, you're working on figuring out grub?
Well, I'm trying to boot this Dahlia, and it booted into this. I've got it.
What?
The screen.
It's not. Is it Vert Manager?
Oh, it's a
Where is it?
UEFI interactive shell.
No, but what are you using to virtualize it? Because it's not.
Vert
Is it
Manager.
VirtualBox?
No, it's
Oh,
not
okay.
VirtualBox.
I'm not familiar with the time. I only know VirtualBox.
I like it because
I know
it gets you closer to the bare metal than VirtualBox does. Control L Alt.
I wonder if you could use... I doubt it would work, but maybe gnome boxes.
That's
Nomox
basically the
uses.
same thing.
Yeah.
Right, I was just thinking
This just
for
gives
ease.
you a little bit more.
More
just gonna
control.
shut this down.
I haven't really bothered with QEMU because what I use virtual machines for is basically browsing with a VPN where I don't have to have everything on my system go through a VPN. I know there are better ways to do it, but it's been working so far well. So I don't really do anything that graphics intensive because I know that QEMU is supposed to have better I think it relies less on software rendering and more on hardware acceleration.
Well, I don't see a problem anywhere with this.
Tekkat also did a video about how, ironically, if you want to virtualize Windows on Linux, the best way to do it is with VMware player, because VMware has some specific proprietary drivers that work to make Windows work better, and if you can even set the amount of video RAM VRAM you can give it. So basically, without GPU pass-through, you can get better graphics acceleration on Windows.
You can do some of that through VirtualBox.
I think VirtualBox is very limited. I think as far as like is 3D and 2D
It is very limited.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because I'm trying to boot this IMG.
Instead of ISO.
Yeah, I wonder if I need to make an ISO. That's not really a problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it one more time, and then I'll just make an ISO out of it. If I can find it. Try it one more time. Nope. Okie dokie.
I get this shell rescue strain in VirtualBox, for example. If you turn on UEFI mode in VirtualBox, Void Linux, for example, won't boot in VirtualBox in UEFI mode. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what bootloader this is.
It said it was an EFI download. I'll try to shut EFI off.
So I think. Wait, did you turn it on, or did you turn it off?
Yeah, I always turn it on. Who the heck is that?
Londoner.
Oh.
Hey, Londoner.
Yeah.
Nice to see you on the stream.
Indeed.
He's no doubt coming to somebody's rescue.
Hey, Joe's, it's like watching a horror film over here. He's got that trimmer out, and when his fingers go off screen, it looks like he's about ready to take off the end of an index.
Oh. I also use it to like trim my fingernails, and yeah, my wife doesn't like it when I do that, but I can never find my clippers.
Hey.
Oh, me using my cutting tools to trim my fingernails.
It's such a man thing to do because, you know, we're all about the utility.
Use what you have at hand.
All right. We've done more with less.
Half-baked? Really?
Oh, Bill, you went away? There you are.
Ain't real sure what
We
happened
lost
right
you
there.
for a second. I don't know. You were gone for a moment. Video-wise, anyway.
I wonder if that messed the stream up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh.
No. 1, 2, 3.
Says
It's already
excellent
4
connection.
higher than I can count.
3, 4, 5, 6.
And that guy should probably stop screwing around.
One,
Blow it up,
2,
Bill.
3,
Blow
4,
it to
5.
oblivion.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is this extra one?
Where'd Londoner go? He checked out already?
Where'd the shot go?
Yeah, he never
Checked
was
out
here.
before we started.
Yeah.
I guess I could put Joe's
I mean-
Why is
stream
there
back up.
6 when there should only be 5? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so. Is there an extra ground? Okay, because that's ground, that's ground. Is that mic ground? Yep, that's mic ground, that's mic hot. That's. Yes.
The remote.
Okay. That should be. There is an extra ground. I will have to
Never had
compensate.
The cable's only got 5.
This cable, the replacement cable, only has 5, and the original, which I guess you can't see very well, has 6. So it's got the ground for the left and right, while the ground for the left and right on this is merged. It's both it's just the blue one is the ground, and then it's got the mic ground, which is separate. But the left and right grounds for the speakers both go through that blue one.
I see.
So, need to get creative. And here, I don't know if it should be the blue and copper that's, negative. So that's the ground, which is good. And then the red is the positive. So mostly the same. Alright, so what we'll end up doing...
Can you run that extra into the ground?
Yeah, I'll keep this cable connected. I won't, kill it all the way, and I will connect it to the ground on the other speaker. But I don't know if that's going to cause, left and right to bleed together. It shouldn't.
I don't think with it being just a ground, but... I don't know headsets at all. So
But all this hot snot makes things difficult.
I can't believe they've got one of these ultra wide monitors for $399 on here.
4K, 8K.
The 34-inch curved ultra wide gaming monitor, 21.9. Yeah, it's 4K, 3440 by 1440. UWQHD, 165 hertz, 1500R, $399.
pretty good curve. Do you listen to Hardware Addict, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, they just did a monitor guide not too long ago. Did you catch that one?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went way in depth, and I was like, holy cow! No wonder they can sell some of these so cheap. Like, you don't realize how many things that they're not telling you, or like the color profiles and all that.
Wendy doesn't have any of this stuff that they talk about.
Yeah, she's basically the camera girl.
Yeah. I don't know where they're getting the stuff or who actually has it, or is somebody sending it to them, or...
Well, I know that in that particular episode, it all came from Michael breaking his monitor during a move and started to research into new monitors. And yeah, they went down the rabbit hole like really deep.
Well, these...
Remember him mentioning it on Destination X as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Here's one for $1,000. But this sucker, 49-inch curved gaming monitor, 32 by 9 aspect. This is a 6K, 5120 by 1440.
That's a little out of my range.
Yeah, that's crazy. But if I had this, I wouldn't need 3 monitors or 4. I ordered a...
You tell yourself that now.
Right. I can put 3 of them vertically.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Like, have them go up over your head.
Right.
Make it look like the
curve
cave.
Keeps the rain off.
Yeah.
And that's what Linus did from LTT. He had a super ultra wide curved monitor, and he got a second one of the same because he wanted to be able to have, I think, 4 or 6 windows open up side by side at the same time. So he just put them on top of each other. But then, because the one on the top was way up top, if you wanted to tilt that one, there would be a gap between the two. So I think he just compromised it, and there was the gap. So the top one was slightly tilted. So he had, it was a double stand, but it was like the size of the 2 screens together were like the size of 6 screens, or maybe 4 16 by 9 screens.
Even if I had the money for that, I don't have the real estate on this desk. I'm barely making it with this 27-inch.
Well, I ordered another 24-inch, so I'll have 3 24-inch monitors, and then I've got this little 13-inch, and I need them
all I have to say is you have a very loving wife.
She's... bless her heart.
Yeah.
She's already told him no more tech.
No, I said that. She kind of hinted towards it, but then I ordered this new monitor along with a triple mount. What do you call it? A pedestal. And she didn't say anything, so.
So you're good to go.
She's maybe I got a nightmare coming, but for now, she didn't stop me.
Right. She didn't hit you in the head with a bat. You must be okay.
But I kind of, the last time we did the show, I kind of complained a little bit because I got the one monitor over here with the Discord, and I notice it makes a difference if you've got it like maximized or not with the quality of the picture that they get on the other end. So I've got that maximized on this screen, and then I got to maximize the show notes on this screen.
Oh man, I'm glad we never tried using me for the stream. That would have never worked.
Yeah, and so if I want to open up another browser window to look at something, I either have to cover up the Discord or put it on another screen.
How many ports do you have left on your video card? How many does it support?
Well, it came with the built-in HDMI and a VGA, but then I bought that little video card, and it's got 2 display ports on it, so I can
expand it.
I can do 4 monitors right now. I've got 3 actually running. Technically 3. And Cinnamon does a really good job with the laying out the monitors.
I was going to ask you about that because I have my old monitor sitting over here, and I suppose I could put it somewhere around here if I had to. It wouldn't look pretty, but it would be functional. But I didn't know how well Cinnamon dealt with it.
Yeah, Cinnamon does a really good job. You can move if you open the display setting. I mean, XFCE and Mate's got it too, but you can actually line up the monitors on the little GUI there, and you got really fairly decent granulated control. Like if you're trying to get the cursor to line up real nice when you drag across, you just kind of mess with that until you get it, and it seems to be pretty much right on, because the smaller monitor is actually sitting a little bit offset down lower than this monitor directly in front of me, and it drags over nice and straight. And it's another thing, they're different resolutions, which was kind of a challenge for them in the beginning when dealing with the multi-monitor thing. Was how
that would be an issue here too.
Yeah,
because I'm on my new one's 1080p. My old one is different aspect ratio and different.
Yeah,
it's a 1680 by 1050.
So yeah, I got 1080p on the big monitor here, and then this thing's running a 1366 by 768, and it drags
so
over
you got
nice
like
and
laptop.
Yeah, it's just a little like 13-inch. Oh, not even that. It's probably like about a 13-inch screen that I bought years ago. Originally the intention was to have like a screen to hook up to one of my Raspberry Pis in case I needed to get into the terminal or something like that.
Right.
But that use case doesn't exist anymore, really.
Hey, that's all right. At least you found a way to repurpose it.
Yeah. It's good. Right now I'm just using it for the pop-out chat for the YouTube stream. And that's the only thing it's really doing. And it's fine for that because I can kind of look over.
Perfect.
Look over here and see if anybody's saying anything. And
yeah, it beats the heck out of having to open up the whole web browser.
Hey, multi-monitor is one of those things I didn't know I needed until I had it. Now I can't live without it.
I still like to have my main display. So I don't really like the idea of having 2 identical displays. So one of them is the left and right. So what I did is I just repurposed 2 old displays, 2 smaller displays that are this 5:4 aspect ratio, and I rotated them because these little ones can do that. So I just have 2 side displays. They're not they don't look that good, especially the one on the left. So I mostly use the one on the right with the middle one.
Oh, it's all right. That works.
Looks pretty tight to me.
Yeah. So is that on GNOME right now, Norbert?
XFCE.
XFCE.
I don't like GNOME on multiple displays because for some reason they don't support having multiple. I mean, I don't like the GNOME workflow with the mouse as well. So I like to have the wallpaper on my side display set to black because that way, if I don't have anything open on them, it's kind of blends into the background. It's not very distracting.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and for some reason, GNOME doesn't support that. You can set one wallpaper for all displays.
Oh, don't worry. There's probably an extension for that.
Yeah, there is one called what was it called? I had it in one of the check this out sections. I think it's called Hydro Paper. But when I was on Archer, I wanted to try it, and there was no pre-built binary for it in the chaotic AOR, so I had to build it from AOR, but it's written in Haskell. And so it had to pull like 400 megabytes worth of Haskell dependencies just to build it. So that was the point where I realized, wait, I don't really like GNOME on the desktop with a key mouse anyway, so I will just go back to XFCE.
Haskell.
There you
What
go.
a strange language to use for something like that. I
Strange
don't
language to use.
Haskell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe, who's going to be hosting the show next week?
Do you want to?
I thought
I
I
could.
was, but okay.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
asking.
Well,
Bill.
Yeah,
it's
Bill,
Bill's turn.
yeah.
Yeah, Cinnamon doesn't have an option to have different wallpapers. Yeah, I don't know. That would be an interesting thing to have. Maybe there's an extension, I don't know.
This is looking like a gooey good time over here, Joe.
Hot snot.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Moss is asking in Discord what the topic is.
Hot snot.
hot
No, I mean,
hot swappable hot snot.
Well, it's like Grub, but I think we've kind of like
Bootloaders.
bootloaders. Yeah, we've kind of branched out. I'm going to close this Amazon page with these headphones. I'm going to do it really
Before you buy 6 of them?
Yeah, I'm going to do it real slow, real quiet. Back away. Don't take your eyes off of them.
I took my eyes off you. Sorry, I was watching the soldering here.
so who's going to do what as far as bootloaders go?
I was going to do Grub and maybe Grub Rescue unless somebody else wants to take Grub Rescue. Because I've done before where I talk specifically about how to like use Grub when like it can't find anything on its own, and that gets quite extensive.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'll take the nuke and pave section.
That's what most people probably do, or a ButterFS
Well, there are
snapshot.
certain times you can't.
Yeah.
But mostly that came up with the Asus transformer, because that was the only way to get it to boot was to manually set up the Grub and then install Grub. Hot. Hey, did you know that wires conduct heat?
Well, they do have metal in them, so I suppose that does make a little sense.
Had to be done.
Yeah.
I think Moss was going to
No
talk
burns.
about Grub Customizer, Norbert.
Yeah.
I thought that's what he said.
Yeah, but the way he asked it, I wasn't sure if he was talking about today's stream or he forgot what the next innards will be.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna have to disconnect my audio for a minute because there's only one way for me to test this.
Indeed.
What, you ain't got a Walkman?
I have 2 of them. I don't have any tapes.
Of course you do.
No tape. I should have sent some with that last, with the RAM. I got some extras.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
I'm telling you. This is what we're here for, folks.
It is.
What everybody's been waiting on.
Yeah, we deliver excitement.
You bet. In spades.
We bring the bass.
I hope this isn't anticlimactic.
You throwing them big words around. I don't understand them, so I'm going to interpret them as aggression.
I went to Dean Air High School here in California where 1 cow and 1 bull equals 1 calf.
That's right. That's going into the Three Fat Truckers podcast. Mañana.
Hello.
Hello, come in.
You there? All right, what's the report?
Who? I gotta find my adapter. That's the report.
Oh, okay.
Another one of those things I just had a little while ago, and then I redid my desk so I could do this, and it just turned it around and walked away, I guess.
I don't like my messes cleaned because I can
Yes.
never find anything afterwards.
Yep.
Exactly.
Oh, I lose my mind.
Yep. Operate much more efficiently in a mess.
Speaking of Walkmans, I dug this out now.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I haven't really
Beautiful.
used it, but I did
Alright.
use this one.
Oh, a Discman too.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, because I realized that I started buying CDs a few years ago, just maybe 1 or 2 a year. If something is I really like, and I realized, okay, I rip them and put them on my phone to listen, but I wanted to have at least something that I could use to sometimes listen to them. So they haven't really used this one, but I got this one used last year.
Let's see if I can do this without completely giving everybody motion sickness.
Yeah.
I don't
the
think
Walk-
it's gonna reach.
Walkman, I think, was my dad's.
No, it's not. It's too dark.
Well, this shuttle.
The Walkman was your dad's?
Yep.
All right, Norbert. I think I have 1 or 2 CDs over here for you.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Oh no, now he's gone. Of course.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I was just gonna show you my 1 or 2 CDs.
Yeah. I'm looking for the single cassette tape that I own.
I've
One.
probably got about that many, but I've got them in a book. One of them Case Logic
Oh, your
books.
CDs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember
I have
those
a few
things?
of those still. You betcha.
I
And
made
then the ones that went on your sun visor and
Yep.
you slide them in and out of there. Yeah, you bet.
I made a DVD earlier today. I had to like
DVD.
remember the workflow, yeah, because my mother-in-law wants this TV show that I've got on my Jellyfin server, but she wants to watch it at home, so I had to remember how to make a DVD.
Oh man, yeah, it's going back.
I haven't found it, so I'm back.
All right,
We're just
I'm back
glad
for
to
the show
see
and tell.
you're back for the
Yeah.
show. Good.
The show
We
and
got the
tell.
crew.
Well, this
Oh, the show and tell.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. Oh, okay.
Is that something that's common in schools in the US? Because I've seen it in movies, but we
It
don't
used to
really-
be. I don't know if
Well,
they do it anymore.
younger, like elementary school, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 1 or 2
Oh.
CDs.
I think you've showed it before.
Yeah, I got a few more. I think I ordered 5 more this morning. I'm pretty bad about it.
Better get them
It
ripped.
sounds like you order 5 more each morning.
That's basically what I do on the weekends. Like, well, that's my treat for working all week.
Apparently they work.
They good? All right. Woohoo!
I think the last one I got was almost 2 years ago.
2 years.
I think I've shown this one.
Liquid tension. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They had it was only I don't really like the jewel case CDs, but 2 years ago they had a new release that was mimicking kind of a vinyl record with it's a paper, it's a one of these paper cases.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I used to haul those jewel case cases to the Columbia House warehouse.
Oh man.
Remember Columbia House?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I used
do.
to-
Them and BMG.
They used to actually make those jewel cases in Fort Wayne, and I would take them down to
Well,
Terre Haute to deliver them.
I hate to say it, but it worked.
Ah. The suspense.
Well done, Joe.
Misdirection. Yeah,
But I
jewel
say-
cases are like the bane of my existence because Amazon cannot deliver them uncracked. It's impossible.
What?
Jewel cases for CDs. That's why I
Oh.
prefer the Digipacks, because they can't break those.
Yeah.
That's why they crack them.
Somebody in
This is
Amazon
what-
right now is going, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, snap.
Oh, there's a channel called a YouTube channel called DankPods. He's an audio engineer who's like started doing videos about reviewing like old iPods and modding old iPods, like taking out the hard drive and putting in like a board with multiple. Yeah. So if you take out a hard drive from the old iPods, you can put a panel in there that fits, and you can put multiple SD cards in it, so you can turn like a 160 gigabyte iPod into like a 2 terabyte iPod or something.
No.
So then he started doing reviews of other stuff like more obscure MP3 players and such. And where was I going to go with this? What did you mention?
No clue.
Not the jewel cases, but oh yeah, he was complaining about how he's in Australia, and whenever he orders for something from the US or Amazon, they first go to a warehouse. There are like one or two of these warehouses for international shipping for Amazon, and then so these are used products. So when he orders used products, well, it was eBay, not Amazon. So eBay has these warehouses where everything that's used goods that they sell goes through, where they open them up and check them. And they are notorious for handling them very roughly. So, for example, they just stick a knife in it, and so for example, he got multiple damaged boxes and even damaged products. And I think he said that it's very common for the eBay service.
That wouldn't really surprise me. I did
all,
get one
in the
really
least.
interesting thing that came from Amazon, actually, and it was an AC/DC CD that had been re-released. And I ordered it, and I got it here, and it was completely sealed, and all the packaging, everything looked perfect, and even the jewel case wasn't broken for once. I was like, oh, sweet score. I opened it up, no disc inside. I went, how does that
Got
happen?
a really awesome jewel case.
You got a really awesome jewel case, yeah.
So I'm not sure about what are the unwritten rules of collecting CDs. Can't you just buy some blank jewel cases and replace replace the correct ones?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
It doesn't make it that annoying.
Yeah.
Or for example, some jewel cases might have like some of maybe the record's logo pressed on them, so it's not like just any other jewel case.
Did I just
And
see Rush
usually the ones you
2112?
buy, yeah. I like Rush 2112.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was it the one that I showed? Yeah.
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 Yep. Fantastic album.
No,
These
but
These are the only two jewel case CDs that I could get because there was no digipack available.
Yeah.
the second party jewel cases that you get, the replacement ones, are usually significantly thinner and not designed to move the stuff from the sleeve over.
Indeed, that is
Yeah.
true.
I'll be right
I
back, guys.
might have showed this before. This is a CD that started my collection at all because Nick Johnston is a guitarist. He has, I think from the US, he has instrumental only albums. And I went to one of his concerts, and I was like, oh, I like this album. I think I'm going to buy one. And then he signed it. I didn't even ask for it, but I was happy that he signed it. And then I decided, okay, if I'm going to get any CDs from now on, it will be when I get a chance to have it signed by the artist. So it wouldn't be like a big arena concert, for example. I like smaller venues. So did I mention this band called Riverside? They're from Poland.
I don't think
Riverside,
I've heard
yeah.
them. Riverside?
I don't remember you
Riverside,
mentioning
yeah.
them.
Yeah,
No.
they have this very nice. It's not a digipack. It's thicker, and it has the book in the middle.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So this is like
Shit.
it's like a digipack, but a hard. But it's basically a hardback book.
Yeah, it looks like a book.
Yeah.
Riverside. Are they on
Yeah.
Bandcamp or did you get that on Amazon?
Oh,
Or did you get it at the
no.
show?
Yeah, that's what I said. I buy CDs mostly when I get this chance to have them signed, so that's mostly at the shows. But
Okay.
they're on. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're on Bandcamp.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to recommend the music.
Yeah.
They're progressive
What's the
metal
name of
band.
that album? Or
Wasteland.
Wasteland. I'm not
But
seeing
it's
Wasteland.
just their latest album. It was that was the first one I found when I started listening to them.
Fuck. Oh,
Oh.
language.
Oh,
Well,
we're live.
that doesn't sound promising, Joe. Everything all right?
Well, yeah, I had to short the cables in order to be able to hook this up. And the problem is getting it back together. Yeah, everything worked, but then, getting it back together when you're running out of space and something pops off and you can't see anything because it's all really close together.
Yeah.
It reminded me of something that caught me off guard. I was listening to the latest episode of Linux Unplugged today, and the programming language called Brainfuck came up, and they were just and they just started casually mentioning it and talking about it without even once, without
As a
beeping it out
proper
even once.
name,
Yeah.
if it's a proper name, then it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
And
It
they
is
said it multiple times.
but it just caught me off guard because I didn't expect to hear that in a Linux podcast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe late night Linux.
Yeah.
They swear quite a bit on there.
That explains the name. I should listen to that sometimes. Is it? Is it?
Are they still around?
Yeah.
Is it connected to another podcast or are they their own thing?
Late Night Linux is the actual main podcast, and then it's branched out. They have
Oh, I see. Linux After
Linux
Dark.
After Dark, yeah.
Is it even more explicit based on the name?
No, it's just got different people. Like it's got Dalton, formerly of the UB Ports team, and a couple other guys. So, but the main one's Late Night Linux.
I see there's
That's
Linux
Joe-
Downtime.
That's Joe Resington's podcast.
Which one? Late Night.
Late Night. Yeah, and then all the others.
There's
He's
three
the
of them
head
now.
guy.
Late Night
I heard
Linux,
that name a lot.
Linux After Dark, and then Linux. What's the third one?
Extra.
Downtime.
Well, he changed
Downtime.
the extra to Linux
Yeah,
Downtime.
After Dark.
Linux Downtime.
What is Joe Ressington? I have heard that name a number of times. What is he known for?
Well, he does all the
He
editing.
used to be on this show.
Yeah, it used to be mintCast.
But he does all the
Oh,
editing
that's-
for
that's right.
Jupiter Broadcasting too.
Till he got fired from Jupiter Broadcasting for cussing, and
That
what
was when
wouldn't
they
have
were.
been considered cussing.
That was
in
when he was working for a cloud guru, but then he bought it back year before last, and he's back on.
Well, he didn't buy it. It was
Well,
Chris.
he went back. Chris. No, not Joe. I mean, Chris bought it back, and then rehired Joe back to do the editing.
Yeah. Well, Joe's got a bit of a perfectionist streak when it comes to audio editing, which can be extremely useful.
Didn't he? He also co-hosted on Linux Action News, I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, before Wes took his place.
And that was all because of him getting fired. I can't remember if it was because he got fired he stopped doing Linux Action News, or he just didn't have time anymore.
Yeah, I think he said he was too busy, kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's got
Everything was kinda-
2.5 admins. That's a good one.
Wasn't everything kind of owned by Jupiter Broadcasting, and that meant they were owned by
Cloud Guru.
Before Cloud Guru bought the other company, there was another company that did
Linux
the original
Academy.
buying. Linux Academy, right. Linux Academy owned everything, and then they sold to Cloud Guru, but Cloud Guru had a small issue where they didn't exactly understand why they were in podcasting, because,
Not really their thing.
not really their thing. And then I wonder, how much, less it cost him to buy his own company back.
You know what? Now that I've been sitting here thinking for a long time, his first ad at the beginning of all his shows was Get Cloudy at a Cloud Guru. I've not heard a single one of those ads. I wonder if a Cloud Guru is still even
I don't know, but
one of his.
his ads are just so long.
Oh.
That's why I stopped listening forever ago. I'm done with
long
this.
time
This
But
guy
he
takes 5 minutes to do an ad.
he does
He
chapters.
is usually good at making them sound relevant.
They're relevant, but he makes chapters. So all you gotta do is hit the next chapter button on the podcast player, and you can skip right over
Still
it.
annoying.
Which show are you talking about?
All of the Jupiter Broadcasting shows,
Yep.
like all of them.
But
Linux.
lately the ads on Unplugged have been like 2 minutes, so not that bad, and they usually have like personal stories that they can tell about using the product. So
I just
it's not the
skip
same
over it. Still too
each
long.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, like I
but,
said, he's really good at making them relevant.
yeah, but yes, I can just, if I don't have to listen to it, I could just press to go to the next chapter.
Yeah.
Here's the problem I have with that, though. I'm sitting in the cab of a truck that has a
Yeah,
camera
okay.
on me that has AI in it that knows if I pick up my phone while I'm moving. And
Well,
I've
that's why
already
you
been
get one
popped
of these lovely Bluetooth headsets, and then you just reach up here like you're scratching your neck and hit forward.
No, I'll tell you.
I
I'll
don't
tell you
have
what
a
you
Bluetooth
do. You
radio.
go get a job that doesn't point a camera at your face.
Oh, I hate
Right.
it. It's ridiculous.
I will never drive for a company like that. Ever.
I'm sure that there are other trash pickup companies, if you really wanted to, or other trucking companies in general that will allow you to do local, especially right now. I mean, dude, truckers
We could
are worth their weight in
scream out
gold
the
right now.
window and get a job on our way past a place.
Right?
You got what?
Oh,
do
you
you
I
guys
got?
have a
don't have
CDL.
the-
Oh, well, how much do you want to make this week?
Yeah.
You got a
we
Class
can't keep
A,
that.
or just do you have a Class A or a B?
Class A, and I'm fully endorsed except for passenger, and I got rid of my hazmat because
I got
don't
rid of
wanna
mine,
carry
too.
that
Oh,
stuff.
dude, I used to have my hazmat too. That sucked.
Well, that's
Yeah.
and since 9/11, it's gotten even worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I had mine during 9/11.
I say that like it just happened the other day, and that's been 20-some
Your
years.
what?
Yeah.
9/11.
20 years.
You had
Yeah.
your what during 9/11?
I was licensed to operate 10-ton vehicles, and I was hazmat certified
Oh.
as well.
It was very
Hazardous
different
materials.
before 9/11. You could just go to the license branch, and it was just another endorsement. Now you've got to get vetted from a third party and get a background
testing
check
again.
from TSA and all that crap.
Right.
But
You know, it was
what do you mean by hazmat certified? To have a license to wear a hazmat suit, or?
To haul
it's
hazardous
to
materials,
transport hazardous materials.
Oh, okay.
because there's a lot of stuff you got to know.
Yeah.
And you know what was fun, Bill? I went in to get my motorcycle license. This was, I don't know, a number of years ago. And when I walked in to take the test, they said, "Oh, okay, well, it's been a while, so you're going to take your Class C, your Class A, all your endorsements, and the motorcycle test, and then we'll get your license endorsed." They made me retake all my written exams all over, right there on the spot.
What
It took me like an hour.
was your CDL expired or something?
No. I guess it just been enough time that if I wanted to add an endorsement, I needed to re-up all the tests.
I don't know.
So, yeah,
I don't know if I could pass all those tests.
dude,
Anymore.
I was sitting there going, oh boy, this is going to be so much fun. Yeah, so,
Wow.
yeah. Luckily I did. I passed them all on the first try, but man, it was an overwhelming amount.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I just realized that with the beard on, you now look like the Josh Fino again.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting lazy again. I keep meaning to shave, and I just keep putting it off.
I think it suits you.
Oh, thank you. Most people say that. I think because it covers up a little bit of the ugly. Not all of it. I can't get it all, but I'm trying, much as I can. And it's like this up here keeps going back, and I tell everyone, I said, I'm not losing hair. I'm just
I have
gaining
no
more
idea what you're
face.
talking about.
That's it. Tell him, Bill.
Yeah.
No, I'm not losing hair. I'm just gaining face.
God, I used to be really deep, dark brown hair, kind of like Joe's, maybe even darker. And Then, like in my 20s, it started going gray like this, and I blamed it on my ex-wife. Well, you look at my oldest son. He made that video on our Three Fat Truckers on how to do the iPhone app. And when he's got his hair down, he looks like a 70-year-old woman. And he doesn't have the ex-wife to blame it on, so it must be genetics.
Something must have gotten crossed when I put it back together. I'm getting crappy volume.
Oh.
Oh,
There's only one other way to test. One other.
More power.
Other way to test. Yes.
Throw it against the wall, see if it breaks.
No.
No, okay.
I've done that method. It doesn't usually work out in my favor.
All right.
I do that
All right,
method sometimes, but it's not necessarily a technical decision as much as a reaction.
Right. Like, hit it as hard as you can and see if that jars something. Yeah.
It's got this Dolly OS has got instructions, literally with a little video here on installing this on Vert Manager.
Test.
Ooh.
Hello. That sounds weird.
That was nice and crisp, though.
It was. It was very up close and personal.
But they're talking on here about select your ISO. Well, you don't get an ISO. You get an IMG file. And I don't see anything on. I don't know. I thought maybe that Mint Stick app would make ISOs, but it don't look like it does.
This is super weird.
That's good and loud. I'll tell you what.
It sure is. It's right up there. And like Bill said, it's
Like I can hardly hear you guys. Be my output settings, but I can hear everything else really good. So let me go to
Vibrations from the ether.
Discord. Where are you?
Yeah.
That's what's kept to it.
Nope.
Well, you got your head in the game.
I only see the EFI and the legacy download button on Dahlia as well.
I thought maybe that USB writer program would make an ISO. I don't feel like installing anything else. Maybe Etcher will do it.
Settings.
I don't think Etcher does.
Voice and video.
Why is there no flat pack for Etcher?
Because they only provide, I think the only official package is the app image.
Yeah, I hate those.
Why?
They don't. I mean, they don't always integrate into the desktop.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Etcher doesn't really reuse the system
it sound good?
anyway, so it should be.
Yeah, it
thumbs
sounds
up,
really
Bill.
good.
Yeah.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, Bill. Let me know how it is. Okay.
He couldn't hear us.
Guess not.
Elena Etcher. It's a zip. I've got a zip file for it downloaded.
Oh, I'm seeing.
What does when you booted up the virtual machine, it got a rescue shell? Did you mount the was there even an ISO for?
Back to audio.
I just
try it from
mounted the IMG. It's a.
You guys hear me?
Oh.
Yeah.
Still horrible.
It's
Still can't hear you for nothing.
It's an _EFE.img. Well, what you download is a zip file.
Yeah, it's odd, but it's only like it's less than 500 megabytes, which is also odd. Okay, so I downloaded the legacy one, and there is an ISO inside it, not an IMG. So maybe you should try install it in legacy mode.
Yeah, we're gonna do that right now.
Because I think I'm not sure. I don't know if there's any benefit to use EFI in a virtual machine, because EFI. I think EFI is mostly useful when you dual boot something, so you can have an EFI partition. But a virtual machine, when there will be only one bootloader, it can just
All right, let's
do that with legacy.
Let's extract it because that's also a zip.
Yeah.
But now I've got an ISO. Okay.
And it doesn't even compress it that much because the ISO is like 460 megabytes and the zip is like 440. So I don't see the reason why they would put it in a zip.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
there's
know.
a really small command line tool called CCD2 ISO that can be used to convert.
Well, I've got a legacy ISO now. I thought maybe you were getting like an older version with that or something. I don't know.
No, I don't think you should. I mean, it's
Okay.
the same file name. It's 220222, so it's probably the date, and it's the same. But yeah, well, okay. So somehow in the EFI zip is like 600 megabytes, but when I open it, it says the DaliOS IMG file and it is like 3.6 gigabytes.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That was
but
a really weird effect that was going on the headset. Like, I play a YouTube video, the sound was fine. I do the audio test, the sound was fine. I listen to you guys, I couldn't hear shit.
That's interesting. Was your Discord settings all the same?
I checked those. That was one of the first things I checked. I even maxed out to like 200% and still hardly any sound coming out.
Wow. Weird.
Yep, I thought so. So, yeah, either I hooked something up wrong or
That's
something's
awful
broken.
Because if it's giving you good output on other apps, then I don't know why Discord wouldn't work.
All right. We're getting ready to have something working here. Oh.
But I blame Bill. It's Bill's fault.
I'm sorry.
Bill's distracted at the moment.
I'm sorry. Let's have a look-see, shall we? Oh, that ain't what I wanted.
What you sharing?
Yeah. Ooh, there you go. Inception.
Ooh,
I'm in a hallway full of us.
Wrong window.
Oh my.
There it is.
What do we got going on? Let's see.
Loading.
Manager. Oh. Yeah. Keep going.
It's booting. Oh. What do we got here? Nope. Okay.
What is it?
I thought it was.
Yep,
I thought it was just booting to a shell.
You got it, Bill. Look, and none of the grayed out icon previous. Although it looks a little choppy. Is that just?
Probably just the stream. It seems.
Okay.
First off, let's get a. If I can work out how to get a. Get a better resolution. Ooh, you get nothing with that.
Nada.
You get light and dark theme. Why do not?
It booted. I also booted it up.
You got it too.
It's pretty quick.
And what?
I mean.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty snappy.
I don't see. There's no. Unless it's hidden. No. There's no display options.
Didn't Joey say that in the article? I think he said it was pretty, like some things were incomplete still.
Well, let's see if it automatically scales with the virtual machine. Don't look like it.
No. Can you choose any resolution in the... Yeah.
The UI elements look way too big. If you look up the file browser, for example.
The what now?
If you open for example, the file manager, the UI elements like the names of under the icons and the text
Oh,
and
like where it says files right here.
Yeah, and as well as the window decoration at the top. For example, the close and resize buttons look way too big.
What is a system
It reminds me of
hive?
GNOME a little with that real big file or header bar.
Yeah, but no integrates the header bar and the like what I'm not,
The
what
window
do they call
board,
it?
yeah. Window controls.
Some stuff just flat out ain't working. Like these buttons here are not. They're doing nothing.
Oh, wow, you're right. Oh, you can create a new folder.
Yeah.
That's useful.
What the heck is a system hive?
I think it's something you have to put calamine lotion on.
All right, terminal. What kind of terminal we got here?
Stop.
Got no settings. You hit the settings button, you get zip.
Well, this is really the next evolution of GNOME, isn't it? It's like we've really stripped it down.
Like, good news, we got all kinds of new features. Bad news, you have no control over them. Well, that's a pretty cool looking calculator, though. Look at that, all these colors.
Yeah, that is kind of nice.
All right, let's see.
You are root by default, which is interesting, I think.
Ooh, really?
I mean, it's a hash symbol, so I assume.
Oh.
Also,
no user.
If you
type run free, ls, okay, ls pack a.
Seems like it's only using 250 megabytes of RAM.
What happens if you try to run su?
So when you run an ls tac a, you get, it looks like it's in a, let's do a, who am I? Root.
Yeah.
Well, we're booted into the live environment here, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So where is the installer? That completely skipped my mind.
Do they have an installer?
This is interesting. If I type uname and it's using the Linux kernel, not the Zircon one.
What web browser is that?
Yeah, I'm about to look. I was looking for the web.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's using Linux 5.17 RC5.
Let's saying add DuckDuckGo to Chrome, so I'm assuming this will be a Blink based.
So it's really unfinished. Interesting.
By the way, I do want to mention what I was using for my second camera was DroidCam with my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, over Wi-Fi.
Oh, wow.
It looked really well.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's kind of cool stuff, though. I don't know.
There's no installer.
Installery.
Yeah.
Is it in? Wouldn't be in the welcome, would it?
I didn't see a welcome.
There was one in the app drawer or whatever, home screen. I don't know, whatever they call that.
Did
application
I
menu.
Close something down I shouldn't have. Yeah, none of this works.
Nope. Music.
You got, well, you can do VPNs, connected devices, phone integration.
That's interesting.
This is firmly in development.
Yeah, I think when you open the menu, there was I thought I saw welcome in there, or maybe it's in all applications. If you scroll down a little, welcome.
Where? Oh,
next to system logs.
You are on a pre-release build of Dali OS. Some features may not work as intended. Well, no shit.
Or at all. Get started with Dahlia. That's it. Now you're finished. We've made it simple.
This is everything we've got to say about our new operating system. All right, any questions?
Jesus.
So let me look at the screen. What does it say?
Nothing.
Getting started. You click on getting started, and you get that.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost as feature-rich as KDE right now.
To be fair, it does say it's a pre-release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It said, warning, warning, warning. You are on pre-release software. What do we get? Hive. What the hell?
Well, you got Hives.
Apache 2.0.
Did you click
2.0.
on the... Okay.
Apache 2.0. What in the world?
Open the software center from the panel.
This is
Store?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it uses the...
You can put Discord. You can get VS Code. A Google search.
Theoretically.
Yeah. City Builder game. What? And
Well, we know you can get Apache 2.0.
I mean, they
clearly.
Dahlia OS.
You can see where these people's priorities are right here.
Can you scroll, or is this the entire list?
This is it. That's it.
What do you mean scroll? That adds another layer of complication.
I'll tell you what, though. This, I mean, visually,
I feel kind of bad because, but it's unfinished, but the parts that are finished look good. So, for example, the panel looks really nice.
It does.
I think there's also some sort of blur that's even working in the virtual machine so it must have some sort of graphical acceleration.
I wonder if you can change that clock or anything. Can you change time to like different formats?
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, yep. That's nice.
You right click
on
it.
You're right.
There's a part when I said it looked kind of like iOS.
Yeah, it does have that nice like blur my shell kind of, and you're using GNOME. Yeah.
Clicking on all this stuff gives you nothing though.
I'm on GNOME, but I just decided to drop all of the GNOME extensions I was using. Since Leo said that even if you don't use any extensions, if you turn off the extension support, you get much better performance on GNOME. So even if you are using some small light extension, the fact that you have extension support turned on makes the performance work a bit worse. So I realized that the only extensions I was using was like the app indicators. But I realized I don't really need that because if I just I'm in Discord or Telegram, and if I just press Ctrl Q, it will close it completely. So I don't have to have the app indicators to close them properly.
That's still I just can't do without app indicators.
Yep. Yeah. I guess kind of. Yeah.
Hitting the install button does nothing. There's almost
just more simplicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the good news.
That's it.
Well,
we made the choices, so you don't have to.
Change wallpaper.
Oh, hey, look, something worked. Oh, nice.
When I opened the wallpaper picker in VirtualBox, I didn't show them properly. Each wallpaper was like 1 pixel thick line.
That's useful.
That I had to aim very carefully with my finger, but it could change them.
This kind of reminds me of that Nix OS too.
Yeah. Even that right click menu on the desktop, I think the font size is way too big.
It definitely looks mobile oriented.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something like Chrome OS, then maybe if laptops with touchscreens become more widespread, maybe it would make sense for UI to have, even if they have like high resolution screens. So the high resolution touchscreen, I could totally see this working well.
Like a tablet OS, maybe.
Yeah.
Or a really high-end tablet. That would be nice.
What is this?
Oh, Ubuntu 2004. Well, virtual.
Graph.
I see. That's
Yeah, but even the text for the right click is my tablet. Even the text for the right click menu on GNOME isn't that big.
Yeah.
yeah,
Finger for scale.
right.
What are we looking at? Is this a virtual machine manager?
Graphed. Is that
Which
what-
absolutely nothing works.
It kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
Fuchsia?
Is it a front end without a back end?
That's what it... Yeah, probably.
I mean, because QEMU is more popular, I imagine this is like they made the custom front end for QEMU.
Huh.
Well,
Yeah, all of those lines had QEMU/KVM in them.
Media.
Once
You got
again.
a one-stop shop for your media.
those
It is-
photos were nice. I like
Yeah.
that. Once again, redundancy
But
simplified.
if you click on them, it just selects them.
Right.
Also,
Okay.
the web browser, is it me? Does the web browser have no toolbar at all? So there's just few.
It's amazing. It really
Ooh.
is.
So if you
It did install Discord.
oh
Oh, check that
Oh.
out.
Ah,
it's
Oh.
working. Okay, I have to go, but
All
it's
right.
been nice. See you
Time to party.
next Saturday.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't forget
start-
to use the
yeah.
Delia for your daily driver, Norbert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want to
We
know
wanna
how
see.
it went.
But you know,
Yep.
I should go back to the time when I was installing new distros an hour before the show, and when I was from a different distro each time, so I could try to, if it has Discord, if I can get Audacity working on that, I could do that show from
There you
there. Yeah,
Simplicity simplified. Delia.
yeah,
It's so simple it doesn't even work yet.
yeah.
It doesn't even-
It
All right.
doesn't get any more simple than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No,
bye.
sir. All right. See you,
Hey,
Norbert.
see
Have
ya.
fun at
See
the
ya.
party.
Okay.
Well, that was an interesting look-see, Bill.
Yep.
Your camera died, Bill.
Yeah, I see that.
It did.
Let's see what do we got
We
going
got the-
on here.
The dancing squares of doom.
Oh, I'm not.
Nope.
Are we still streaming? Stream?
I think
That's
so.
Bill's stream.
Yeah, we're still streaming it, but wait, no, kind of.
Oh, I'll look here. Hang on.
Yeah, it looks like we're here.
It says excellent connection.
Yeah, we're good.
But
All
I
right.
gotta go anyway, though.
Yeah, I think it's getting around lunchtime, dinner time. I don't know.
I'm supposed to take the wife out to eat.
Ah, you know what you're having tonight?
I want Italian, but she's not crazy about the place I like. We got a place here called Salvatore's, and they make they literally make the pasta right there. Oh,
Oh,
but
speaking my language.
oh man, I didn't get this way from not eating.
Likewise.
So, but their sauce is like really chunky with a lot of complicated ingredients in that. She doesn't like the chunky sauce either. I don't know.
Oh man, with all the good veggies in it. Oh,
Oh,
mushrooms. Oh, you gotta have it.
yeah, I agree. So,
Yes, sir. All right. Well, whatever you choose to do or go, have fun.
all right then, I'm gonna shut the stream down, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will do.
Are we good to go then?
Mm-hmm.
So, OBS. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah. If you made it.
Yep. If not, well, we'll be out there for all eternity somewhere in the archives
Immortal.
of Google. Anyway,
Indeed.
have a good weekend, everybody.